Georgia, Alabama. Sports Live will be your go-to for all your favorite high school and collegiate games this fall. From the Carver Tigers to the Columbus Blue Devils, the Harris County Tigers and Northside Patriots, the Glenwood Gators and Calvary Christian Knights, the Pacelli Vikings and Brookstone Cougars, to the Smith Station Panthers and Russell County Warriors, from CVCC, Pirates basketball and baseball, and every tournament from here to Macon. We are the #1 destination for anything happening in East Alabama and West Central Georgia. Be sure to like and follow us on YouTube and Facebook, and stay tuned for even more amazing ways we will be bringing Georgia, Alabama Sports Live to you this upcoming season. We can't wait to come see you next. What's up, everyone? Thrift Behringer here with Richard Holdridge. It's Georgia, Alabama Sports Live, early morning edition from the great Glynn Smith Chevrolet GMC, where we have a live show every month. Richard, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. Glad to be here. Had a late night, as you did. I know that Mother Nature didn't want to cooperate.
Absolutely.
But we are here.
Yeah, you're exactly right. So we'll get into that. But last night, because of weather delays, rain, I didn't leave Glenwood till about 12:15, 12:30. I know you didn't leave Calvary till after 12. And here we are. And we got a busy day today. Right after this, we're going to be heading to the Hardaway Block Party. We also have CVCC softball at 2 and 4 p.m. as well. It's their last home game of the regular season. It's been a lot of games we've done at CVCC, and it's finally putting a bow on it. Baseball will have one next Saturday as well. So special show today. We have an incredible guest with us. So everyone knows now our partnership with Colin Scroggins and CNAW. Go to CNAW2news.com. That's where I get all my insight of what's happening around the Chattahoochee Valley area. And we have the man, the myth, the legend coming on. After his busy schedule, I was able to pull him for about 15 minutes. Colin Scroggins is going to give us his story on how he got into this.
Yeah.
How did the fame all start? And then going to give us some background history about how his mom used to drive around to the different places to cover stuff. I cannot wait to get the insight with him. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to talk about our partnership, and CNAW has a huge thing coming up. They're going to be starting the next couple of weeks. I'm super excited about him announcing that, Richard. So I know you are too.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so excited to hear Colin's story. When it comes to news and breaking news in the Chattahoochee Valley, nobody does it better than Colin Scroggins. And I follow him. And if I want to get informed as the latest news story, he's out and about everywhere, driving to these places. And it's just fascinating. I love the partnership we have with Colin Scroggins at CNAW2 News. And I'm excited.
Yeah, I am too. So we're going to be talking with him, and then we're going to wrap it up. It's been a crazy week this week.
No, it has.
And we've been all over the place. Literally on Thursday, I was at 3 different ballparks calling and covering 3 different high school baseball games. But, hey, that's the life we live when we're covering sports. We got a ton of schools that we have to talk about. So we're going to get into that and more. It's the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show, Glynn Smith edition. If you look right now behind me, their lot is full of inventory, used and new, pre-owned, ready for you to take a test drive right now. And every single one of these car salesmen and women are going to make you feel at home. They're going to make sure that this is a huge decision. You're really signing your life away for the next 5 to 10 years. So when you're doing that, you want to make sure that you're not getting it taken advantage of. At Glynn Smith, there's a reason why they say, what, Richard?
Get ready to smile.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, it's me and Colin one-on-one. This time I'm interviewing him on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show. We are presented by Glynn Smith Chevrolet GMC, Buffalo Rock Pepsi, Kinetic Credit Union, and of course, the man himself, Gordy Eye Care. We will be right back after this.
Let's go!
Woo! Woo! Yeah! Woo! Football time! Set the tone.
Kyle, tie your shoes, tie your shoes.
Yeah, good job. Woo! Yeah!
Grab a Pepsi Wild Cherry and get wild.
Football is back, and the only thing that makes it better is some delicious food from Zaxby's. They're a proud sponsor of Georgia-Alabama Sports Live. And I can tell you that everyone on this team loves their chicken. Get all the favorites, such as their signature chicken sandwich, or try the new chicken finger tacos with your favorite drink. From amazing salads, wings, chicken fingers, and some of the best drinks around, there isn't a better way to enjoy our broadcast without getting some fantastic meals from Zaxby's. Check out the two here in Phoenix City, one off Crawford Road and the other on US 80. Thank you again to Zaxby's for sponsoring Georgia-Alabama Sports Live. And make sure you call them for all your catering and tailgating needs this football season. Welcome back, everyone. Thrift Behringer here with the guy I just told you about. Everybody, when they see this young man walk in the room, walk into a scene, everybody stops. That's Colin Scroggins. I know I'm somewhere important. Colin, thank you so much for being here, man.
Of course, it's good to see you again. How are you?
Sir. I'm doing excellent, man. But again, I want to first start off by saying this. Thank you to you, Jay Shields, for believing in us and this partnership,
Absolutely.
man. We're going to talk about that in a moment. We're going to talk about the big things coming up. We're going to talk about Glynn Smith being a huge reason why both of us are working together.
Absolutely.
But first things first, man, we got to get your story. We got to get your background, man. So where are you from? Get ready to smile. You see,
Yes.
you
We're
see it
smiling
right
so
there.
much it fell.
Yeah, that's it. As I was just saying, Colin, kind of give the background. Where are you from? And then what led you to do what you're doing now with covering everything that's going on in the Chattahoochee Valley area?
Okay, so it's long time ago. 2019 is when I really started my news page. I've been really interested in the weather side of things for a while. When I was super little, every time the Weather Channel was on, I'd stare at it like it was Disney Channel. So in 2019, it really started when we were driving down the road. Well, Mom was driving down the road,
Right.
and I was in the passenger seat, and we came up on a house fire, which is not too far from my house. And I got out of the car, and I was like, oh, there's something going on. And I said, hey, can I go live on your Facebook page? And so I went live, and that was just kind of the first story, I guess.
Right.
And I was just so interested in seeing the firefighters work, the police officers work,
Right.
just the chaos of it, I guess.
Yeah.
So since then, after that, about 2 months later, there was a tornado that came through Lee County that left many lives affected and fatalities behind. And that was sort of my first big story, which is crazy to even think about. That was the first story I've ever covered, was a tornado that swept through. And I was just using my Facebook account,
Right.
my private Facebook account, and my mom's account to report on the news.
Right.
And then after that, we had an officer or 3 officers get shot in Auburn. And I asked my mom, I was like, hey, can I, make my own news page? And that's where I started Colin Scroggins CNW.
Right.
And, it's crazy to think about is all the first big stories I covered was huge stuff that never happens. Like
Right.
we have a tornado here and there, but that tornado was almost an EF5. It was devastating. And then of course 3 officers get shot. That's so rare that
Right.
happens. So it just kind of goes to show you that I started off as like chaotic, and then
Right.
COVID hit.
Right.
And that's when we started hitting our major followers. And then in 2021, we saw a huge increase in gun violence in Columbus. And that's where all of our followers came from, is we were covering shootings left and right, major crime stories. And they came to us for the news, and that's where we are now.
The rest is history, man.
Yep.
which is
And
pretty
my
cool.
mom was driving me to all the scenes at one time. Sometimes she still is.
Right, but-
Sometimes I'm driving her to scenes now.
Right. But talk about that and your mom believing in you at such a young age, allowing you to go and try these things out, man, and kind of find yourself as a broadcaster at a very young age. I mean, dude, how old are you right now? 21, 22?
19.
I'm making him older than what he is. Like, come on, 19 years
Sometimes
old.
I feel like I'm 40.
Right? But the thing is, he's accomplished more at 19 than most people have when they ever, like at 24, 25, especially me. When I started my broadcasting career, man, and it's funny, in 2019, I just graduated CSU, worked with
Wow.
B&B Broadcasting, and the tornado hit. So I was up here in Auburn partnering with RBL, and that's really I got my first time getting on TV. So it's funny that both of us really started finding ourselves
around that time.
during that moment. And again, we hate that it's something devastating like that, but we needed it in this area,
Yes.
Colin. So you found the niche, okay?
Yes.
Now I do want you to talk about Jay Shields and the guys from CNAW that work with you on what they mean to you and continue to help grow the website and help grow your brand.
If it wasn't for Jay Shields and my team, I don't know where I'd be at today.
Right.
They
Daryl,
have
I forgot to say Daryl. I got to mention Daryl.
They have completely changed everything for me. I started off just kind of doing it for fun almost, just kind of doing it as a hobby basically.
Right.
And they turned it into something that I never thought in a million years we'd be at, partnering with y'all, partnering with Greg Majeski with his Weather Channel, and partnering with our friends up at Noonan with the Noonan-Coweta scanner traffic. So it's crazy to me how much has changed, because I just started as a little kid who said, you know what, I'm interested in the news. I want to cover the weather.
Right.
I mainly started with weather. I was just reporting, oh, here's a storm, here's a storm, here's a storm.
Right.
And then I don't know what, but if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here with my website, wouldn't be here, you know, with all these sponsors, with especially Glynn Smith.
Yep.
When I first started out, Glynn Smith was our first sponsor. They were our premier sponsor partner for 3 years now. This is 3-year anniversary.
3-year anniversary, man.
So it's crazy to me. I had support from Opelika to Phoenix City to Columbus to Troup County, LaGrange, Eufaula, all the counties you could think of. They were all supporting me and still do. So if it wasn't for my team and the community support and y'all support, of course, I don't know where I'd be at today.
Well, man, it's
awesome.
awesome.
Been an honor.
It is, man. And it's awesome to see the way you've grown. Again, only 19 years old. He goes to Auburn right now. So not many people don't understand. You see all the stuff he's covering, everything, while being a full-time student.
Yes.
That's another thing that's really impressive, man. Because I remember when I was in school, I was struggling with my classes, let alone having a full-time job, trying to cover everything. Like what we're doing now with Georgia Alabama Sports Live, dude, there is no way I could do that and be in school. So I give you credit in the world for doing that, man. So that's really awesome. So how do you able to work the schedules and stuff like that, man?
It's honestly shocking how I manage it. I told the people at Auburn University who did a little interview with me that's coming out in a little bit.
Awesome.
That I'm a chaos manager. So I could wake up one day and there'd be nothing for the whole day.
Right.
And then the next day we have 5 crashes, 5 shootings, 5 this, 5 this. So it's honestly just depends on the day. Right. Some days I don't have anything to cover at all. And other days I'm going back and forth, overwhelmed, stressed. But it's honestly just trying to find the time during, after, before my classes to write the stories. And usually, luckily, so far this year, we really haven't had a lot of stories during my classes. So I've been able to sort of manage it a little bit better.
Right.
And if it wasn't for Jay and Daryl and them going to crime scenes, you know, they are a huge help with that. Because sometimes I can't go 40 or an hour from Auburn to get to Columbus for a scene, and they'll go out there, cover, take pictures, take video, and send it to me, and I'll write the story. So their help does not go unnoticed. I always appreciate them for everything that they do, and my schedule just allows me to, for some reason, to do what I still do today.
Well, that means it was a calling, man.
Yes,
and that's
absolutely.
Why not everyone gets to find that fine line of finding your calling, that passion, and it turned into a full-time job. So that's really awesome. You got to have a good team.
Oh yeah.
But is this what's the end goal for you, man? Is it are you wanting to get in weather? Are you wanting to continue to grow? Obviously CNAW, but what before you started this, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Well, I wanted to be a meteorologist when I grew up.
I could already tell that.
But I still would love to do that. I would still love to cover the weather, but I think I found a niche for covering crime and sometimes government and sometimes, whatever else that happens in a day's world. But I think, honestly, it's just continue to grow CNAW and see where it goes from that. I would love for it to be an own TV station one day and 100%. Make it all the things you could think of and have all the kind of, just like the partnerships we have now, and build it all into one station. I think it'd be really awesome.
And I think that's honestly where it's heading, by the way. But let's go ahead and talk about Glynn Smith, and then we'll talk about our partnership. Absolutely. And then the big news drop that we're going to be that's coming up here in the next few weeks with CNAW. Glynn Smith, they're one of our first presenting sponsors. They're one of your first presenting sponsors. Jerry Potter, believing in what we're doing. We're not your traditional way of getting news, Colin, or watching sports. We're not the TV or the radio station. We're social media. And he saw at the very beginning what we were trying to build and believe in us. And I know you're appreciative of it just like I am.
We've been, they've been our premier sponsor partner for 3 years now. It's coming up on the 3-year anniversary. And they were the first ones that believed in me to sponsor us and help us get more views on our website. And they've assisted us ever since. And I'm beyond grateful for all their help, especially Gary. He's been a saint for us, that's for sure.
100%, man. And Jerry, thank you. Thank you to Glynn Smith for allowing us to be here. Always about giving back to the community, which is why they're one of the top car dealerships, not just in Alabama, but in the Southeast. So thank you again. And I wouldn't recommend anywhere. I don't care if it's 45-minute drive or 2-hour drive. Come here to Glynn Smith. We hear people from all over the country that come here and always leave with a smile. Is that right, Colin?
Absolutely. Every time. Even this.
Yeah, even the sign that fell down. We were talking about it so much, it ended up falling
down. The cars are drop dead gorgeous, and that's why.
Now, when I met with Jay and I met with you and kind of told you about, hey, this is what we're doing. We're covering every single high school around the area. We're trying to do all the sporting events and stuff. And y'all were like, y'all need to be on our team because we're doing the same thing, but for the news side. Now we're making a behemoth. We're making a huge conglomerate of getting sports, news, weather, everything you can think of in this area. You can find it on CNAW and Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Can you talk about that? What that partnership meant for you, man?
We've always heard from our viewers say, hey, are you covering this sports game? Are you covering this championship? Are you covering this? And we just didn't have the resources to do that. And we saw y'all, we saw what y'all were doing, and we were like, you know what? That'd be an awesome partnership and be able to join forces together and make it into one big thing. Because, the community needs to see all the games because y'all cover 4 games at one time. I don't know how y'all do it, by the way.
Thursday, we did 4 games at one time, man.
So if it wasn't for y'all, our viewers would be left without sports because a lot of our viewers just go to CNW for the news.
Yeah.
So when they see y'all sharing I know numbers have gone up as well with viewers. Man. So I think it's just what everyone needed. We needed sports on our side. Y'all needed some news on y'all's side, and it just worked out to be amazing. So I'm extremely grateful for y'all partnering up with us.
I am so thankful too. It has really taken our brand and all the hard work that my team does to another level. It has allowed people to really, and it's more than just me and my team, man, because we're doing this for the high school kids. Yes. And now these high school kids are getting thousands of views to showcase their talent and recruit and go on to the next level.
And I was just about to bring up Michael Williams with Hardaway.
He's got drafted.
I think it was 11th pick on
11th, first time we've had a first round draft pick in quite some time. I don't know if it's in the hit. Huh? Jarvis Jones. Yeah. So that was back in 2012. So it has been 13 years since we have had a first-round draft pick from this area. It's really awesome, and I'm glad you brought that up. Yes. So we're so thankful for Michael.
And congratulations.
Colin, I'm letting you to our audience. We got huge things coming up here in the next few weeks. What is the big news dropping?
So me and my team were talking, and we've done a lot of work, especially Jay and Daryl, and we are starting a newscast, including sports with Thrift and his team, and I'm really excited for it. It's going to be awesome. We're going to try and start sometime in May, try in June maybe, especially because the summer months start heating up. Yep. We start having a lot more scenes.
A lot more, man.
Winter and spring are a little calm, and then summer hits and everyone loses their minds. Saying that nicely. Right. But we're hoping to start our news page or start our newscast and have y'all join us. And
no doubt, man.
It'll be fun, exciting.
I told Jay last week, man, having a newscast, that's the only thing right now with CNAW. You're live on the scene everywhere. You got a great website that's got all the stories. We just need a newscast, whether it be once a week or whatever. And I'm so glad that you're allowing us to bring the sports part of it. And can't wait to see you, Greg Majeski. It's going to be an incredible lineup.
Absolutely.
Can't wait for that to drop.
And with the newscast, we're trying something new where every Friday we're going to do top stories of the week. So we're going to try and do, the top big, most viewed or most important stories every Friday.
It's a lot of stories.
Oh,
we won't be able to cover everything, man.
So that'll be on our page. And, can't wait to see what else we have in our future with our partnership.
I can't either, man. And by the way, we're not time constrained with these newscasts either, because guess what? It's on our platform. So we can go 2 hours on a newscast. We can go 30 minutes. That's the beauty of what we do, and we can cover as many stories as we want. Well, Colin, thank you so much for making time in your busy schedule and your mom's. By the way, your mom, longtime teacher. She's a couple years away from retirement. I want to say thank you to her. People like my mom, who, again, these
moms
teachers
are important.
Yes, they're important, but teachers are even more important, Colin. And
I don't know how they do it.
That invest. I don't either. Invest in the kids' lives. You know what that means. And you've had good teachers in your life that had impact, man.
I can name a couple right here. Coach Ames, Miss Stewart, Miss Whitlock, all of them. They're amazing.
And it's people like your mom are the reason why these kids, we're trying to give them a bright future. Well, Colin, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we got more. Me and Rich are going to dissect everything happening in the sports world on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. You're watching right now the Georgia Alabama Sports Live show that is presented by Glynn Smith Chevrolet and GMC. Get ready to smile. We'll be right back after this. You know what to do. We love being able to go to the different high school, colleges, middle schools to live broadcast sporting events around the area. Georgia Alabama Sports Live appreciates all the fan support, but without a presenting sponsor like Glynn Smith Chevrolet and GMC and Opelika, none of this would be possible. So we want to say thank you so much. Go to glennsmith.com. That is right, glennsmith.com. See all the inventory and see why people always say, get ready to smile. Thanks, everyone, and thank you to Glynn Smith Chevrolet and GMC for being our presenting sponsor.
Get ready to smile, because it's Truck Month at Glynn Smith Chevrolet in Opelika. Take your pick of over 40 brand new Chevrolet Silverados, discounted up to $14,000 off while they last. New Chevy Equinox, the compact SUV featuring high-tech options, discounted up to $5,000 off. Enjoy no payments until summertime. Choose from over 500 new and used vehicles on the lot or on the way. GlennSmith.com. Get ready to smile.
Introducing Gatorade Water. Alkaline and electrolyte infused for great taste. Gatorade Water, always in motion.
I'm thirsty.
Try this.
Starry.
It's a lemon lime soda that's crisp, clear, and
So refreshing.
bro, chill. It was a soda. Starry lemon lime soda. It's different.
Hi, my name is Griff Gordy, and here at Gordy Eye Care, we have been serving the Bi-City community for 17 years. As a former state championship quarterback, I love the fact that I can watch local high school athletics from the comfort of my own home. So it was a no-brainer to support Georgia Alabama Sports Live and what they do for young athletes in our area.
And without business like yourself, Gordy Eye Care, none of our coverage would be possible to be able to cover the 16 different high schools, the local colleges, and professional teams. So we'd like to say thank you to you, Dr. Griff Gordy and Gordy Eye Care, for your support of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And then you can make an appointment today at Gordy Eye Care with the number 334-291-5125. Keep supporting Gordy Eye Care and keep watching Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Football is back, and the only thing that makes it better is some delicious food from Zaxby's. They're a proud sponsor of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And I can tell you that everyone on this team loves their chicken. Get all the favorites, such as their signature chicken sandwich, or try the new chicken finger tacos with your favorite drink. From amazing salads, wings, chicken fingers, and some of the best drinks around, there isn't a better way to enjoy our broadcast without getting some fantastic meals from Zaxby's. Check out the two here in Phoenix City, one off Crawford Road and the other on US 80. Thank you again to Zaxby's for sponsoring Georgia Alabama Sports Live, and make sure you call them for all your catering and tailgating needs this football season. Georgia Alabama Sports Live wants to say thank you to one of our presenting sponsors, Buffalo Rock, and their partnership with everything that we do. And without business like Buffalo Rock, we wouldn't be able to go cover softball, volleyball games, every type of high school sport you can think of, local college games, and professional. So thank you to those businesses that support us, and specifically Buffalo Rock. And next time you're watching a Georgia Alabama Sports Live broadcast after a nice long day, why not enjoy it with a nice, refreshing Sorry? The best lemon lime soda around. Thank you to Sorry and Buffalo Rock for our partnership on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Even though I'm away at college, Kinetic Credit Union is still the best way for me to stay connected here and at home. With the Kinetic mobile app, I have control of my accounts wherever I go. I can easily transfer money between internal and external accounts, get money faster by setting up recurring transfers, and I can find the nearest ATM or branch right from my phone. Plus, I can add my Kinetic cards to my phone's digital wallet and enjoy quick, secure, contactless payments. By the way, Mom, I need some more money.
Kinetic Credit Union, the energy for your dreams.
Welcome back, everyone. Thrift Barringer here, Richard Holgers. Thank you to Colin Scroggins and CNAW2news.com for partnering with us and allowing us to be their exclusive sports provider on CNAW2news.com. All right, we got a ton that we're going to be getting into right here before we get out of here because we're heading to Hardaway Block Party that is coming up. Dude, we probably need to be wrapping up this show in the next 20 minutes because we got to fly down to Hardaway, get set up, and get ready to rock and roll. But, man, what a week for high school baseball in this area. Harris County, they sweep, move on. Congratulations to the Harris County Tigers. They're going to the second round. They beat Pace Academy. Northside swept Midtown. They had the rain delay Wednesday, came back on Thursday, took both of them from them. Tracy Powell in year one. They have them in the second round. They're going to be taking on number one, Blessed Trinity. Harris County's taking on, they'll both be on the road. They're going to be taking on Alatoona. Then a few others. Glenwood dominated defending state champion Thomasville. I was there last night, Richard. 10-2, 19-3. McCrane and the entire lineup, Hudson Campbell, Carter Judah, KP Andrews, and the rest of them, they were on fire. They put up tons of runs. The pitching by Campbell and Seitz was lights out. Levi Pender came and closed it in the seventh. And Coach Chip Banning, they move on to the third round, quarterfinals, and guess what? They got to go on the road because of how Alabama high school works. They don't do by record and where you're seated. What they do is the team that traveled the farthest the previous round, they get to be home. Well, St. James was on the road last week. They get to be home this week. That's in Montgomery. Glenwood will travel there. Central dominated Baker, so they'll be heading into the quarterfinals next week. So we'll see the Central Red Devils move on. Any other teams, Columbus and Shaw, how did they do yesterday?
All right, so Columbus took on Sonoraville, and they won the first game 2-0. Sonoraville ended up winning the second game 8-5. Those games were on the NFHS network. Right now, as we speak, they have got a Game 3 winner-take-all at Randy Jordan Field, and the winner is going to take on Crisp County because Crisp County ended up defeating Shaw in both games. Hardaway lost to Drew Charter in both games, and Hardaway lost to Cook in both games, and Jordan lost to Drew Charter in both games. So all the Columbus teams in 2A, with the exception of Columbus, has already been eliminated.
Yeah, well, so Shaw has been eliminated as well.
Yes.
So we will not be getting Columbus Shaw next week like we were hoping.
Yeah, we were really hoping for that.
Shaw was the 11th seed. Columbus was the 6th seed. They were on a collision course. So now Columbus needs a win today. We will try to get Columbus high next week if they win this playoff round. So we're crossing our fingers because that will probably be their last time being at home for the rest of the playoffs. So good season by Howard Shockford. Jordan also lost. Hardaway lost. So both those teams, great seasons. But right now Columbus is the only one left standing in terms of Muskogee County School District. So in terms of the GIAA, Calvary had it, man, you're talking about one of the funnest series I've seen. Last week against Brookstone and then this week against Pacelli, and they won 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
They won game 1 in a walk-off, lost game 2 in a close win, 9-7. Congratulations to K. Smith and Pacelli getting that big win on Thursday. And then Calvary won last night with the weather delay, 12-5. So, Richard, They finished region play 8-4, second in the region. But here's the thing. They won every series, including Brookzone. They won the series against Strong Rock, Westfield, Bocelli, and Brookzone. But they also lost one game to each one of those teams. That's why they finished 8-4. But winning the series against every team in your region and playing better at the end of the year, Coach Smith, I know when you interviewed him last night, he likes where his team's at right now.
Yeah, right now they would be the number 5 seed, which means they would host a playoff game, and they would face the Kings Academy, which would be the rematch of the GAPS championship.
Yeah, it would.
Bocelli right now, they could get in the playoffs. I talked to Coach Rasmus before the game. They like where they are too. They're young, but they're a team.
They're right now what, number 9 or number 10? So
they're number 10.
On the road, but they're in the playoffs.
They got a 3-game series against Strong Rock. Right now, Strong Rock is the number 11 seed. They could actually put position and maybe sneak in and get the 9 seed if they do a very good series against Strong Rock. Right now, Bocelli's a team you do not want to face in the playoffs. Austin Dannison, very good pitcher. They had some trouble in the beginning. Calvary gets off to these hot starts. Connor Zitrauer got his 6th home run of the season. He hit one that actually cleared that big giant hitting facility where they have all the championships listed. And it made it close. It was 8-4, and then the bottom fell out as we've got the lightning delays. It was actually not quite a 2-hour rain delay, but it was about an 1.5-hour rain delay, which it calmed some nerves, and the fans just cleared out. In my opinion, that might have been the craziest fan base I've seen in a baseball game. The student section they had so many air horns. The umpire had to actually stop the game to try to take away some of the air horns. And Bocelli fans had some air horns. And I don't know. I don't think you're allowed to blow an air horn as soon as the pitcher is about to pitch.
Absolutely not.
And that was insane. But the fans were wild, and they were just excited. And that was the most craziest atmosphere I've ever seen in a baseball game.
It's been like that all week. They're rivals. These schools don't like each other, and what makes for a great entertainment. So we're going to be watching as the rest of the playoffs continue on. Later on today, we got CBCC softball 2 and 4. Can't wait for them. And then we also got the block party coming up here in just a little bit. I was going to talk NFL draft, but we don't have a ton of time on our hands because we will be live tomorrow. We'll talk NFL draft. We'll talk Braves baseball. We'll talk NBA playoffs. We'll save that for when we have a longer show tomorrow night. So make sure to tune in then either tomorrow night or Monday night. So can't wait for that. But then also today, we want to say thank you to everyone that has been tuning in and watching us and being there for us as we continue moving forward. As we got the Lions coming up tonight, so make sure to go and watch the Lions taking on Colorado. They need to get a big one. The Clingstones are also winning tonight, so we're hoping some big things.
They got a doubleheader,
and the Braves got some big games coming up too. So a lot happening in the area. Yes, Rich.
I do want to say we got to make mention of Michael Williams getting drafted by the 49ers.
Yeah, so I think that was awesome that we first round draft pick we found from this area since Jarvis Jones. I know you're happy because that's your team and getting a good one. I really wanted him to drop 4 more spots because the Falcons took Jalen Walker. Makes you think they were going to take Michael if he was there.
Yeah, that
would have been awesome for the city. But I'm really happy for Michael. I'm happy for what he represents in this area and allowing, people to shine a light that we got a ton of talent here. We may have other guys that may get drafted, but congratulations to Michael Williams. He's going to be dominant for a really good San Francisco team that I think will surprise some people this year. I know many people think they're down, but big pickup for them. Great job by Michael, and congratulations on getting drafted in the first round. So I know you're excited about it, Rick.
I'm very excited. He's going to be hopefully that edge rusher that's alongside Nick Bosa. This is what the 49ers do. They draft defensive linemen in the first round, and Michael is going into a great situation. And by the way, the 49ers are getting their old defensive coordinator back, Robert Saleh. So he's in a good situation. I know if you're a 49ers fan like myself, he's like, well, they lost Dre Greenlaw. They lost Taluna Fufanga. I think Michael Williams is going to be in there and make an impact. He might not be a double-digit sack guy, but he's going to put pressure on the quarterback, which might allow Nick Bosa to get double-digit sacks. I mean, if you're putting pressure on the quarterback, you're doing something right. And I think Michael Williams has got the physical tools and the athleticism to get into the backfield quick. And I'm excited for him. As for the Falcons, can't believe they drafted a Georgia player for the first time in franchise history in the first round.
And I'm excited that they did that, and we'll have that recap and more when we come on the show tomorrow. But I will say, again, for high school playoff baseball, Glenwood moves on Central moves on. Columbus plays a game 3 tonight. Hardaway, Shaw, and Jordan, all their seasons come to an end. So great seasons by them. And we got Brookstone, Pacelli, and Calvary wrapping up their regular season next week, and then they start their playoffs. So from Richard Aldridge, I'm Thrift Behringer. Don't go anywhere. Stay right on our Facebook page, because coming up in about an hour, we're going to be live from the Hardaway Block Party right here on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live. Thank you again to Glynn Smith Chevrolet GMC. They got pre-owned and new and used cars on the lot right now for you to take a test drive. I drive a GMC Sierra. I recommend that truck to almost anyone that wants to buy a truck. They got a ton of them on the lot right now. They're going to take care of you. They're going to give you all the incentives, all the deals they can. Good credit, bad credit. They want to make sure you're driving the car or truck of your dreams. And there's always a reason why, Richard. They say,
get ready to smile.
We'll be back here next month. But again, thank you to Glynn Smith. Thank you to Jerry Potter. And obviously being our presenting sponsor. We love coming here every single week to give you all the insight. Thank you to Colin Scroggins and CNAW2news.com for allowing us to be the sports provider for them. It was awesome to kind of talk to him. That's what today was about. It was more of a special to have Colin on. We'll have more insight on sports related outside of the local stuff, as we just made mention. But if you got nothing else going on, head to Hardaway. They're trying to raise money for their championship rings. The girls, Hardaway Lady Hawks, won a state championship. They need to raise money. This is a fundraiser. They got food trucks, vendors, games, and it's starting at 12 o'clock. They'll have a ceremony till about 12:30, and then a lot of fun until 2.
Yes.
Donations, they want them. They need them. Support them just like you did Carver and all the other teams. We'll be heading there next. Thank y'all so much for watching, and we will see you next time on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show.
Thank you for watching the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show presented by Glynn Smith Chevrolet and GMC. You're ready to smile.